You got to have a purpose no matter what you do in life. You got to have a purpose. When you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. The most important thing is that you have a vision, that you have a goal. Because without that vision and without that goal, again, you're drifting around and you're never gonna end up anywhere. People don't become successful just by accident.
لو سألتك مين الراجل ده هتقولي ده ارنولد، الأب الروحي رياضي كمال الأجسام، وواحد من أكبر الممثلين في العالم. بس اللي متعرفوش إنه كمان كان راجل أعمال ناجح، وكان حاكم ولاية كاليفورنيا في أمريكا لمدة 10 سنين تقريبا. ثروته تقدر بنص مليار دولار دلوقتي. فإزاي راجل زي ده وصل اللي هو وصله رغم الفقر والظروف الصعبة اللي كان فيها؟ هي دي حكايتنا.
If my life was a movie, no one would believe it. The directions I've chosen, the careers I have conquered. I started out as a bodybuilder from Austria and became the strongest and most muscular man in the world.
Can you imagine the feeling I have 6 times Mr. Olympia?
But I had bigger dreams. I wanted to be in movies. I came to Hollywood, and within a decade, I was one of the biggest action stars of all time. Hasta la vista, baby. Then I took the greatest gamble of my life. I went into politics and became governor of one of the largest economies in the world. I'm going to run for governor of the state. I solemnly swear I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I went from being the Terminator to being the Governator. But this story, you know. So are you ready for this story? You don't.
في 30 يوليو سنة 1947 اتولد ارنولد بأوستريا النمسا. اتولد بعد الحرب العالمية التانية بسنتين، واتولد في الجانب الخسران من الحرب. اتولد في فترة انتشر فيها الفقر والجوع والظروف الصعبة. كان والده رئيس شرطة محلي، كان شديد معاه هو واخوه، كان بيضربه كتير وهو صغير. ارنولد اتعلم منه معنى الالتزام والإرادة من بدري، وحول الالتزام ده الرغبة في النجاح. فقرر انه يسيب النمسا ويسافر امريكا اللي كان بيبصلها كأقوى دولة في العالم، بلد الفرص. وقرر يعمل كده عن طريق انه يبقى لاعب كمال اجسام مشهور. والده كان بيسخر من طموحاته بانه يصبح لاعب كمال اجسام، حتى انه اتهمه انه شاذ جنسيا عشان كان بيعلق صور رجالة لعيبة كمال الاجسام في اوضته. اما كان 14 سنة كان بيلعب كرة القدم والملاكمة وكمال الاجسام، بس على المستوى المحلي. وكمال الاجسام كانت هي الرياضة اللي وصلته لهوليوود. ساب بلده وراح انجلترا عشان يشتغل هناك. كان بيعمل في الاسبوع 20 دولار، وعرف يحوش فلوس عشان يسافر امريكا. هو عنده 18 سنة دخل يقضي خدمته العسكرية في الجيش النمساوي زي اي شاب وقتها، وقدر ياكل لحمة كل يوم لأول مرة في حياته، وكان بيخدم في تحريك الدبابات. ساب الجيش بدري وراح يشتغل في جيم في ألمانيا. بعدها سافر لأول مرة وهو عنده 19 سنة لبطولة مستر يونيفرس في انجلترا، وهي أكبر بطولة لكمال أجسام في أوروبا، وخد مركز تاني. في مغامرته إنه يجرب كل حاجة وما يسيبش حاجة غير ما يعملها عشان يوصل لهدفه، بدأ ياخد سترويدز، واللي كان استخدامها قانوني ساعتها في البطولات. خد مركز أول مستر يونيفرس السنة اللي بعدها. كان عارف إنه عشان يوصل لأمريكا كان لازم يبقى رقم 1 في أوروبا. وده اللي حصل.
What a super sight, as every woman in the hall agreed, when the supermen of Europe got together in Cologne for the international bodybuilding contest. And with what pride the mighty men displayed all the well-known muscles, plus a lot that the average man had never heard of. Just imagine the embrace such muscle could accomplish. Wasted on a girl, it could put paid to an ox, but who wants to embrace an ox? Among all that magnificence, how could they pick a champion? Well, the judges did. Europe's Mr. Muscles of 1966. London. The Victoria Palace was bulging at the seams. Mighty men of muscle from many countries flexed, tensed and bulged biceps in a bid to become Mr. Universe. There were professional muscle men and amateur muscle men, tall men and short men, each and every one looking like the ancient Greek idea of a god. They stretched and strained before an appreciative audience and a knowing panel of judges, urging their cultivated curves to snapping point. Fortunately, nothing gave way, and they all lumbered into position for a final once-over by the experts. The choice was an American as amateur Mr. Universe and an Austrian as the professional. Other ideals of the body beautiful and
وجات له دعوة انه يسافر امريكا عشان يدافع عن لقبه، وخد مركز تاني وقتها، وكمل تمرين هناك في جولدن جيم عشان يعمل فلوس زيادة. اشتغل كسواق وتاجر مكملات ومدرب رفع اثقال، واشتغل في المقاولات والاستثمار في العقارات، اشتغل في اكتر من حاجة عشان يعرف يوصل لهدفه. الطلبة اما كانوا بيدوروا على لاعب كمال أجسام لفيلم هيركليز في نيويورك، في 1981 حقق أول مليون من الاستثمار في العقارات. 1982 مثل في فيلم كونان ذا باربيريان. رغم اهتماماته بالسياسة قرر يبعد عنها قدام الناس عشان يركز على الكارير بتاعه كممثل، حيث ان اي رأي سياسي ممكن يقلب رأي فئات من الناس اللي بيتفرجوا على افلامه. في 1983 خد الجنسية الامريكية. كان هدفه انه ياخد راتب $1,000,000 لفيلم، وده اللي عمله 1984 في الجزء الثاني من كونان ذا باربيريان، كونان ذا دستروير. عمل 10 مليون في 1990 من فيلم توتال ريكول. 1994 15 مليون من فيلم ترو لايز. 35 مليون من فيلم توينز. كان بيحلم انه يبقى غني ومشهور. حقق هدفه سنة 1967 كأصغر مستر يونيفرس، وكسب اللقب 4 مرات، وكمان 7 مستر أولمبيا. راح أمريكا وعنده 21 سنة. مكانش يعرف اللغة بتاعة البلد، ومكانش بيتكلم أي كلمة إنجليزي. مكانش محظوظ في هوليوود بس، لا وكمان راجل أعمال ناجح عن طريق الاستثمار في أكتر من مجال زي المطاعم والعقارات والكافيهات وحاجات تانية كتير. واختير من مجلة تايمز كواحد من أكتر 100 شخصية مؤثرة في العالم مرتين، 2004 و2007. بقى مليونير من قبل ما يبقى ممثل. خرج من جامعة ويسكنيود بشهادة في إدارة الأعمال، وخد دكتوراه فخرية من نفس الجامعة تقديرا لأعماله الخيرية. سيطر على الرياضة العقد كامل، وكسب مستر يونيفرس 67، وكان أصغر حد كسب البطولة وهو عنده 20 سنة. فاز مستر أولمبيا 7 مرات ومستر يونيفرس 4 مرات. ارنولد اتكلم كتير عن أهمية إن يكون عندك رؤية وهدف. كل مرة الدنيا بهدلته، في كل مرة حطت عليه قالوله إنه ما عندوش الرغبة في تحقيق أحلامه. كان بيقول لنفسه إن الأحداث دي بس مؤقتة. كان عنده الرغبة في تحقيق ذاته. كان عنده أكتر من رؤية. أولها يبقى بطل في رياضة كمال الأجسام. ثانيا يبقى مليونير. ثالثا يبقى نجم مشهور في أكبر الأفلام. وبعدين بقى حاكم كاليفورنيا. في كل هدف كان بيتخيل نهاية الطريق اللي عايز يوصله، وبدأ يشتغل عشان يوصله. مر بمشاكل وتحديات بنفس المقدار، وهما اللي خلوا أحلامه أقرب للواقع. كان موجود عشان يكسب وحقق أحلامه، وزي ما متوقع الموضوع ما كانش سهل. أما سافر أمريكا كان عارف إن مفيش فرصة إنه يعمل فلوس في مجال كمال الأجسام في أمريكا، ومحبش يبقى زي الباقيين الممثلين اللي من كتر رغبتهم في الفلوس بياخدوا أي دور في أي فيلم. محدش كان عايز يشغله عشان حجمه الكبير ولهجته الصعبة واسمه اللي صعب تنطقه. وما عندوش خبرة في التمثيل. ما اعتمدش على التمثيل في البداية عشان الفلوس، عشان يشتغل بس في الأفلام اللي على كيفه. أول مشروع ليه كان شغل مقاولات، بدأوا مع لاعب كمال أجسام زميله فرانكو كولومبو. ساعتها كان كل حاجة أوروبية بيشتريها الأغنياء لإيمانهم بأن عندها كواليتي أعلى، فاشتغلوا على الحتة دي. 1971 حصل زلزال فرانسيسكو والبيزنس كان الله ينور، وبدأ يجرب فرص أوسع. كان في كلام من صديق ليه إن في خطط لعمل مطار دولي وأكتر من بيزنس في الولاية، فشاف إنها فرصة واستثمر في أراضي واسعة في الوادي وإنها هتكسب، بس محدش جه وصرفوا كل فلوسهم على شوية رمل. الفرق بين الناجحين والفشلة إن الفشلة ما بيقوموش بعد وقوعهم، أما الناجحين بيقوموا تاني بعدها. وكان عنده رغبة إنه يستثمر في العقارات، حوش كل جنيه معاه من المقاولات ومسابقات كمال الأجسام لحد ما جمع 10,000 دولار. استثمر في عمارة من 6 شقق، عاش في أكبر واحدة فيهم وأجر ال5 الباقيين، وبعدها ب3 سنين بعد ما اشترى أول مبنى ليه باعه بعدها، واشترى واحد تاني بضعف عدد الشقق، وطوروا بعدها لمبنى 36 شقة. فضل يشتري ويبيع في العقارات، وصل لأنه يقدر يشتري مبنى ب500,000 دولار بعربون ب100,000 دولار، وباعه بعدها بكام سنة بمكسب 200,000 دولار. بعد ما شطب على أول هدفين في الليستة بتاعته، بدأ يشتغل على هدفه الثالث، إن يبقى ممثل مشهور. خد الفلوس من التمثيل واستثمرها هي كمان. For me, life is about continuously being hungry. The meaning of life is not simply to exist, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer. معنى الحياة بالنسبة لي إنك تكون جعان وتفضل جعان وتعلى بنفسك لحد ما توصل لهدفك، لحد ما تحقق أي حاجة أنت عايزها.
I wanted to be in movies.
Und hier ist er, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper!
The first rule of success is to have a vision. Everything is always impossible until someone does it. It's all about the hard work that you put in.
Vielen Dank an unseren Stargast, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back. Well, I hate Plan B. And I tell you why. Because we have so many doubters, as I've said earlier, the no-sayers. We have so many of those people that say no, and you can't do it, and it's impossible. That is okay, because we just turn off, as I said earlier, and we listen and we hear the no being a yes. You can't do it, you can do it, and all of that. So that is possible to do that amongst all the negative people around you. But when you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now what you're basically saying is that if my plan doesn't work, I have a fallback plan, I have a plan B. And that means that you start thinking about plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, you're taking away now that thought and that energy from plan A. And it's very important to understand that we function better if there is no safety net, because plan B becomes a safety net. It says that if I fail, then I fall and I get picked up and I have something else there that will protect me. And that's not good, because people perform better when there's no safety net. People perform better in sports and everything else if you don't have a plan B. I'm telling you, I've never ever had a plan B. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding champion. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna be in America. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna get into show business and I'm going to be a leading man. No matter what it takes, I will do the work. I will do the work over and over and over until I get it. And the same was in politics and everything like that. So to me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B because you're cutting yourself off from the chance of really succeeding. And the reason, one of the main reasons why people want to have a plan B is because they are worried about failing. What is if I fail, then I don't have anything else? Well, let me tell you something. Don't be afraid of failing because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail. Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times." I mean, tell me about that. And he says, well, you're just mentioning the successes. But he says, for me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots when I was playing basketball at the NBA games. So during these games that he was so successful, he missed 9,000 shots. Does it make him a failure? No. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all times, but he failed 9,000 times. Do you get it? We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up, fail and get up, fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner. That is a winner. I failed in bodybuilding. I lost bodybuilding competitions. I lost powerlifting competitions. I lost weightlifting competitions. I had movies that went in the toilet and that were terrible and got the worst reviews. And in politics, I remember I had many of the initiatives on the ballot, and we lost. My approval rating in California went down to 28%, and then it went back up again, and I won again the governorship. Hey, we all lose. We all have losses. This is okay, and this is why I say don't be worried about losing, because when you're afraid of losing, then you get frozen. You get stiff, you're not relaxed. You got to be, in order to perform well in anything, if it's in boxing or if it is on your job or with your thinking, is only happening when you relax. So relax. It's okay to fail. Let's just go all out and give it everything that you got. That's what it is all about. So don't be afraid to fail.
My wife Kirsten and I, we have a foundation and build up schools in Africa for poor children. So because I think it's very important when you are successful to give back to the society, give back to the world. What is your opinion to this?
I absolutely agree, and I think this is one of my 6 rules to success. You can only feel complete as a person if you think about what can you do for your fellow member around you that maybe needs help. I felt like that everyone has a different motivation why you get into that. I was an immigrant going to America, and I saw how America was the most generous country in the world. I mean, they opened up their arms to me, they helped me, they invited me for Thanksgiving dinner, the people. They brought me, the bodybuilders in the gym brought me plates to my apartment because I had no plates, I had no silverware, I had no bedware, I had no pillows, I had no blanket, I had no TV, I had no radio, I had nothing. They brought it to my apartment. They helped me. And I saw that firsthand, this generosity in America. And I said to myself, as an immigrant that is being embraced with open arms, that I need to go and make sure that I give something back. Right? Because I started thinking about how did America become such a great country? How did America become such a generous country? Well, I look back in history and I realized that people have fought for America, and people have died for America, and people have suffered for America. And so it's my job now to contribute to keep it as being the #1 country in the world. And this is when I started feeling obligated, and I said to myself, so what can I do? I'm a bodybuilder, what can I do? Well, then I realized when I saw Special Olympics that I can help and train Special Olympians. And so we started getting involved in Special Olympics, and in no time, I proposed to them to start powerlifting in Special Olympics, to have deadlift, which was a safe thing to do, and to have bench press, which was a safe thing to do. And it became the #1 sports in Special Olympics, powerlifting. They always have a packed hall of 5,000 people. And I became the national trainer and the international trainer of Special Olympics. And I tell you, I felt so good. I felt better than winning a bodybuilding competition, going to one of their competitions and seeing 100 of those athletes from all over the world competing in powerlifting and being happy and being included and being felt that they're equal to all of us. It was the most unbelievable feeling, and this is why I got so excited about it that then after that, I started, going around to military bases in America and training our military personnel. Because in those days, bodybuilding and weight training wasn't popular. Now it is. Now when you go to Iraq, to Baghdad or somewhere like that, and you see the American soldiers train, they have the biggest facilities. It's like this dome here. This is how big the training facilities are now. So it all changed. But in those days, it wasn't popular at all. So I went from military base to train the soldiers and the sailors and the airmen and all of them. And it made me feel good again. And then after, when I met President Bush, then Vice President Bush, and we traveled around to campaign, he asked me what I want to do, and I said, I would like to be a fitness leader in America. I would like to be the chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. And then when he became president, he appointed me to that. And so now I really was able to travel through all 50 states and promote health and fitness. And the more I got into that, the more I realized how good it feels to give something back. And that's when my idea came about after-school programs, because after school, when I traveled to all the schools to train students, I saw there was a huge gathering of students after the school was over outside the school. And I asked the school principal, what are all the students doing? And he said to me, Arnold, you have to understand that 70% that the kids in our schools, they come from parents where 70% of the parents are both working. So therefore, there's no one there picking them up. So that's got me the idea to start after-school programs, to keep those kids in school while the parents are working, and to offer them homework assistance, tutoring, and sports and fitness programs and arts programs, music and painting and so on. And it became a huge success. So as you know, it becomes addictive. So it becomes addictive. So then when they became very successful, now we have after-school programs all over the United States. Then, of course, when 2003 happened, where there was a governor's race in California, I said to myself, now is my chance to jump in there and to really give everything. And people said to me, says, are you crazy to run for governor? When you're governor, he says, you cannot go and make movies anymore. I said, well, duh. I mean, I know that you can't run the state and make movies. Of course not. He says, well, you would lose all these millions of dollars. I mean, you're getting $20, $25, $30 million a movie, you will lose that. I say, I don't care. I say, all the money that I made is because of America. My success is because of America. Everything that I've accomplished is because of America. I said, so for me now to give something back for 7 years and not to make money makes no difference to me. I say, I'm going to do it. And I jumped in the end of the race and did it. And let me tell you something. I'm not poor because those 7 years I didn't get paid. I'm perfectly fine. And it made me feel good that I could give back to America.
Und ich glaube, das ist ein würdiges Schlusswort. Vielen Dank an euch alle und natürlich nochmal vielen Dank an unseren Stargast, Arnold Schwarzenegger.